Hi everyone, I'm going to play today with some shrink film. I love making charms, and there are many different types of shrink film that you can choose from. But they all have one thing in common, a smooth, shiny surface, which if you stamp on that side, you have a chance of smudging your image when you make it because it's very slick. And it also has a duller flat side, and this is the side that I prefer to stamp on, but it doesn't matter, whatever you choose is fine. So this is the flat side. I'm just going to lay that down, and this is my little ghoul friend stamp. Just love this. Got to add this to my charm set. And I'm going to be using today some Stays On ink because it dries faster, especially if you're choosing to stamp on the shiny side, but it just dries faster and it makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to ink my image up and just stamp it on there. Like so. The next thing to do is just to cut it out, but you do want to decide if you're going to make a charm or if you're just going to use this in some art. I'm going to make a charm out of this, so when I cut it out, I'm going to leave some space up here at the top to use my hole punch to get in and do my hole punch before I heat it up. So let's cut that out. Oh, and one word note here. These are old scissors. As you can tell, they've been around a long time. I've used them a lot. But do dedicate some older scissors to go through materials that are tougher like this shrink plastic, and leave your good scissors for paper and your even better scissors for fabric and trim. As I get up here to the top, I'm going to arch it up and away, and that way I know I'll have room to add my hole punch for my charm. And you don't have to be exact and get really close to your image. It really doesn't matter once it shrinks up. And I don't throw away scraps like this because, see, little sweet cheeks, I can make more of those little buttons that I want to make and put on that. So I'll save that. So I'm just going to use a regular hole punch. And do want to do this before you bake them, or use your heat gun. I'm going to be using my heat gun today. Alright, so now you had it cut out. So if you're using an oven, you're going to, of course, lay it on the aluminum foil, and that makes it a lot easier to use. But since I'm going to be using my heat gun, I take my long-handled tweezers like this, and I'm going to put one of the little prong ends through the hole just to kind of anchor it down. But you have to be careful while you're doing this because it's going to move, it's going to flop around, it's going to curl up, and then it will straighten out once it's ready. But you have to be a little mobile with this left hand over here, or whatever hand that you're using to hold your tweezers, because that hole also changes, and because the whole thing moves, you have to be kind of ready to go with it. So I'm going to turn the sound off, and then I'm going to finish heating up. I usually just take my acrylic block and I just lay it right back over that image just to flatten out anything that might have curled up. And there you go. We have this adorable little teeny tiny ghost charm. Isn't it cute? Now, I'm not going to try and fool anybody. I am not a beader. I don't really have the patience for it, but there is something about beads when I go into a bead store that I am just attracted to them. can't help myself. So I am taking some fishing wire, or fishing line, I guess you'd call it, and I'm just stringing them on. I do have some beading tools, like this little beading tray, and after you have chased around seed beads on your desk for a while, you find the real usefulness of that. So there's my little bead strand that I'm going to add to it. I got 3 blue beads, a white bead, and 3 more blue beads. So I'm going to have to anchor this end, pull that down a little bit so I have some room to use, and I'm going to rethread now everything back through here. So I'm going back through the same beads. So 1, oops. And if you wanted to do this on camera, it's going to take a lot longer. Normally this doesn't take a long time to do. Okay. There we go. No, still didn't get that one. Got a stubborn one here, doesn't want to go. It's not the bead's fault, it's me. Alright, so before I lose my other end of my cord there. This fishing line is really hard stuff to work with. I'm not going to pretend it's not. It's not really beading material, but it's cheap. And it was there, and sometimes that's what my art ends up being. You know, it's just whatever's there, I make do with it, and I like doing that. And I'm sure if I wanted to do this in a proper job, I could go take a beading class, but that would take all my fun out of it, I guess. Alright, so now, we did that. This is one little trick I learned also for somebody that's, you know, doesn't really know what they're doing. And don't have too many hands, maybe don't have the right equipment. There's a whole lot of things. But I take a little bit of glue. So I'm just going to coat this fishing line just a little bit. I'm going to take my beads. I'm going to push those beads right up over the glue. So I hope you could see that. And I have made a little circle on the end. And then that last bead, see how it drops away and falls down the line? I'm going to do the same thing. Just a tiny bit of glue right there. And then push that bead up. And then I'm just going to tie it right onto the little ghost here. So once you have your beads added to your little charm, or if you don't want beads, you don't have to add beads, of course. You can do whatever you want to do, but I added some beads. I've got my little jump ring placed on here. And I'm going to try, and I do say try because I'm doing this on camera, and that's always so much more fun, to add that on there. Like so, and there we go. We have another little charm added to my little book, which I love. I just think those are so cute. Hope you make some charms or jewelry or add it to bookmarks or make a wine charm. You know, there's so many options for things that you can do out of this. And I hope you have a really good time with it. And thank you so much for watching. Bye now.